The cursor blinked on Dawid Mochadwo's screen, a perfect candidate's face staring back. But then, DARKWIRE, real stories from The Wire. The voice lagged behind the moving lips. Was this a real person, or the most sophisticated deepfake he'd ever encountered? The date was February 10th, 2025, and Dawid, a seasoned security expert, had been on high alert for weeks, following a string of reports about AI-powered deepfake candidates attempting to infiltrate IT job interviews. Dawid Mochadwo grew up in the post-communist sprawl of Warsaw, Poland. As a child, he was obsessed with pulling things apart: radios, clocks, computers, only to rebuild them better. By his teen years, he'd already hacked his way into his school's network, not out of malice, but curiosity. His father, a factory worker, called it a gift. By the time Dawid hit his 20s, he was a respected name in cybersecurity, known for his sharp instincts and a nose for anomalies. He had worked with several prominent firms, including Vidok Security, where he had thwarted numerous phishing attempts and infiltration bids. Early 2025, tech companies faced an unexpected threat. AI deepfakes were infiltrating job interviews, posing as candidates. The scale was massive. From Vidok Security to Fortune 500 giants like Google, no one was safe. The mastermind? An elusive operator known only by the alias Epsilon. Forum chatter hinted at state-sponsored ties, pointing fingers at North Korea. Reports suggested that Epsilon's network had already extracted over $10 million worth of intellectual property from compromised companies. The attackers crafted impeccable resumes and identities, deploying AI-generated faces and voices for interviews. They even devised laptop farms, basements packed with compromised devices to spoof legitimate network access. Companies scrambled to keep up, investing millions in new detection technologies, but Epsilon was always 2 steps ahead. The operation was so sophisticated that it had even caught the attention of the FBI's cyber division, with Special Agent Sarah Kim leading the investigation. By mid-2025, the operation seemed invincible. Epsilon's network had infiltrated dozens of companies, extracting invaluable data and even penetrating firms specializing in deepfake detection. The audacity was breathtaking. The cybersecurity community was in a frenzy, their confidence shattered. On April 8, 2025, CNBC reported on the growing trend of AI deepfake job seekers, citing cases where candidates had used AI-generated voices and faces to dupe hiring managers. But with every seamless operation came a flaw. February 2026, a deepfake applicant made a critical error. During an interview with a company specializing in deepfake detection, the mouth of the synthetic candidate froze during a sneeze. The auditory misalignment was the telltale sign. The incident occurred on a Tuesday at exactly 10:45 a.m. when the weather outside was cloudy with a temperature of 42 degrees Fahrenheit. Dawid and his team quickly ran the footage through advanced analysis software. The verdict? Fraud. This wasn't just a one-off. It was the unraveling of a sophisticated operation that had grown too confident. The team worked tirelessly, poring over lines of code and analyzing network traffic patterns. They discovered that the deepfake candidate had used a combination of VPNs and remote desktop tools to manipulate perceptions of time zones and locations. With the breach confirmed, the FBI and cybersecurity firms launched a coordinated crackdown. The Bureau's cybercrime unit, alongside international counterparts, targeted known nodes in Epsilon's network. Budapest was ground zero. Coordinated raids swept through, but Epsilon was always a ghost, a digital phantom never seen, just felt. The operation involved over 50 agents, who worked tirelessly to track down leads and gather evidence. Despite the raids, Epsilon remained at large. The laptops, seized and analyzed, revealed a web of connections spanning continents. Agents like Special Agent Sarah Kim from the FBI's cyber division worked tirelessly, piecing together the puzzle, while tech experts developed ever more advanced countermeasures. The investigation had already cost over $500,000, with estimates suggesting it could reach $2 million by the end of the year. But here's where it gets worse. The deeper investigators dug, the more complex the network appeared. Teams found evidence of multiple layers of deception, with operatives using encrypted channels and disposable identities. The sophistication suggested more than just a rogue actor. It hinted at a well-funded, organized group with state-level support. The FBI had discovered a cryptic message on one of the seized laptops, referencing a codename Operation ShadowNet. For Dawood, the fight wasn't over. He partnered with international experts, sharing insights and strategies. The threat was evolving, and so too would their defenses. The digital world was still haunted by Epsilon's ghost. Somewhere, in a basement filled with humming laptops, the next deepfake candidate was ready to apply. Would they see them coming? Dawood had already begun working on a new project, codenamed Echelon, aimed at developing an AI-powered deepfake detection system. Meanwhile, the trial of the few operatives caught in Budapest unfolded. Testimonies from former collaborators detailed the operations. A young hacker known as Ivan X revealed how they orchestrated interviews, using VPNs and remote desktop tools to manipulate perceptions of time zones and locations. Ivan X, whose real name was Viktor Kuznetsov, had been recruited by Epsilon through a dark web forum where he was promised a hefty sum of $50,000 for his services. The evidence presented was overwhelming. Sleuthing through email chains and chat logs, investigators traced payments and instructions, linking them back to shadowy figures suspected to be handlers from North Korea. The prosecution argued convincingly, painting a picture of a sprawling network, not just a lone operator. The court documents revealed that Epsilon's network had been active since at least 2023, with over 200 reported instances of deepfake job applicants. In a surprising twist, Ivan X struck a plea deal, offering more names and methods in exchange for a reduced sentence. His testimony unveiled a methodical approach to creating fake identities, complete with fabricated social media profiles and even LinkedIn endorsements from other synthetic personas. The plea deal was negotiated by Ivan X's attorney, who had argued that his client was merely a pawn in a larger game. Sentencing came swiftly. Ivan X received a 10-year sentence, with the possibility of parole for continued cooperation. But the mastermind, Epsilon, remained an enigma, a lingering threat in the ever-evolving landscape of cybersecurity. The judge, a stern-looking woman with a reputation for being tough on cybercrime, handed down the sentence, citing the severity of the offense and the need for deterrence. As companies tightened security and governments poured resources into combating these digital threats, the ultimate question loomed large. When would Epsilon strike again? And who would be prepared to stop them? The answer, much like Epsilon, remained elusive, hiding in the shadows of the dark web, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. This digital saga serves as a stark reminder. Technology's double-edged nature demands vigilance and innovation, lest we fall prey to its most cunning manipulators. The war between cybersecurity experts and deepfake operators had only just begun, with the outcome hanging precariously in the balance. As the world watched, one thing was certain: the next battle would be fought in the shadows of the digital realm, where the line between reality and deception was increasingly blurred. The date was March 15, 2026, and the clock was ticking.